Right, you can see my hands, right? I'm not touching a thing. I'm just going to talk for an hour. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the 12 Man Podcast. You don't see me often, but hello. Just me in the studio tonight. You got Steve Jackson, me. I'm in the chair, as usual, with all the buttons that I'm not pressing. Joined by my two sidekicks for the evening, Mr. John Donovan, evening JD. Unmute yourself.
Yep. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
The reason I was muted, I've got a dog by my side. If that starts barking or anything like that, I don't want it all over the podcast. So yeah, I'll be in and out.
That's no problem. It's no problem. And we've got our, well, sorry, Steve, you still say a second favourite George. Steve Dixon's with us. Evening, Dicko.
Evening, fellas. Still there. Yeah, still basking in the glory of the Mackham slaying from last Saturday. So yeah, good.
I think we're going to be basking in that for a long while yet.
I think this weekend's been superb. I haven't had to worry about anything, not about results or anything like that.
Good, isn't it?
I've enjoyed. I went to Twister in Middlesbrough on Saturday. I had a great day there. I enjoyed the rugby yesterday. So yeah, it's been a fantastic weekend. Stress-free, brilliant. It
was stress-free, wasn't it? It was good. Yeah, I proper enjoyed the rugby yesterday. Really enjoyed the rugby. Fantastic. Fantastic win. Got to the semi-finals. If you don't know, by the way, England beat Fiji and we play South Africa next Saturday night, which could be a bit messy. We don't know yet, but yeah, enjoy it while you can. It should be good. But yes, hope you've all had a good weekend and hope you've all earned a few quid. Yeah, so we're going to talk. Good subject, the first one. We're going to talk all-time Boro 11. We restricted it to your lifetime, so do not come on here and say, well, I watched George Campbell, because you didn't. You're lying. Stop lying to me. Maybe John might have, but even he's shaking his head. So
that's disgraceful.
Can I say as well? Are we going all-time, the best 11, or are we going your favourite players 11?
Well, do you know what, Steve? I don't know, because I've done no prep for this. I saw the question earlier, but I've been busy at work today and busy at home, and I haven't done any prep for it. So, there'll be players I mention who then you'll probably mention others, and I'll be thinking, oh, Jesus, yeah, I forgot about it, that player. For me, it's going to be players that I think were influential for Boro. They don't have to be it's not the quality, it's their overall, shall we say, contribution. That's the players I picked. That's what I'm going to make my decision on.
Well, that's good, because it'll give a conflict of opinion, because if I was going to pick my...
It's unusual for you, Steve.
No, if I was going to pick my favourite Middlesbrough 11, it would be completely different to me best 11, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
That took 4 minutes. Superb. Right. So, yeah, people watching, listening, get involved. Have some fun with this. It's going to be it's going to be a fun, I want to say half an hour, but it may go over.
People listening, send in your best 11s.
Yeah,
send them in.
Send them in, because we're going to obviously say our best 11, but we're going to give mentions to other players in them positions as well. So, let's get started. But obviously, once after that, we'll talk about Birmingham. Wayne Rooney's Birmingham City, visiting the Riverside on Saturday. We might as well start calling them that, because that's what we're going to get called for the next 4 years. So get used to it. I can't, but hey ho. You look like you're going to say something, John.
No.
Okay.
Well, I was just thinking there when you said 4 years. Well, do you know what? If he does 4 years at Birmingham, I'll be very, very surprised, because if he is a success, he'll probably move on within the 4 years. But if his stints elsewhere or anything to go by, then he won't last 4 years. Yeah, that's a bottom line, really.
Well, to tell you this, Birmingham's next 5 games are Middlesbrough, obviously, on Saturday away. Then they've got Hull at home. Then they're away to Southampton, home to Ipswich. Then they're away to Sunderland. So never mind 5 years. or 4 years, he might not do 5 games because if that, if, I don't think those fixtures are too clever for Wayne.
Don't worry, Wayne. Sunderland away is not that bad. We proved that the other week. It's not that bad, really. Don't worry about that one.
That's the easiest of the 5, isn't it?
Exactly. But no, you're absolutely right. Because I mean, look at him. He did 2 years at Derby. Looks like he did 20. So you know, time does funny things to you, poor lad. But right. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But right, let's get going. Are we sticking to a formation between us, or have we all gone a different formation?
I don't know what John's done.
Yeah, I've done no prep, so it'll be 11 players, and hopefully we can get a team out of them. But if I pick 5 defenders, 2 midfielders, 3 strikers, then so be it. But we'll see.
My best 11 that I've picked, I've tried to be like Michael Carrick, and I've went Michael Carrick's formation, 4-2-3-1, just to be like Michael.
Okay, I can do a 4-2-3-1. We'll do 11 players I picked. It's better than the response you both gave me at first. You both just shrugged your shoulders, so I thought, well, this is going to be a fun half an hour. So, right, okay then. We'll start with you, JD, because this could be the most fun of the lot. Goalkeeper. Who is your goalkeeper?
It's a toss-up between, for me, it's a toss-up between Stephen Pears and Mark Schwarzer. Now, obviously, Boro was successful with Schwarzer in goal, many years in the top flight, 2 season stints in Europe, winning the Carling Cup. But I loved Stephen Pears. I just thought he was a fantastic goalkeeper. He was a firm favourite, came on loan, signed up for 60,000. Should have really and could have got an international call up. So I'm going to stick with Steve Pears. It's very little between them for me. We've had some good keepers. Dimmy had a great spell at Middlesbrough. Shea Given, I know it was only on loan, few games, great keeper. Victor Valdez, brilliant keeper. Darren Randolph, another. But I'm going to choose Steve Pears in goal for my favourite 11.
Watch out. I've got a funny story about Steve Pears. First game of the season a few years back, went to Luton on the Friday night. Stood near the back of, I mean, you've been before, John. Their stand is interesting. I'll say interesting. That's the word I'm going to use for it. Stood near the back of it. Was it 3-1? Was it 2-1 or 3-1 at the time? Maybe 3-1 at the time. Anyway, so we got a penalty, didn't we? Someone longer got the penalty, picked the ball up. I obviously turned around, as you know. I don't watch him. And Josh was stood next to me and he went, "Stay duck." I went, "What?" And duck. I'm looking around thinking, where? This ball was about to smash me in the back of the head, and Steve Pear's hand pinged it off the back of my head. And I went, "There's no way. There's no way." He went, "I still got it." And then dropped the ball in front of me. I was like, fair play. But yeah. We drew that game 3-3. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, there you go. Big Steve Pears doing it.
They should have let Steve Pears take that penalty because he scored the last one ever at Ayresome Park, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He did, yeah, in the testimonial, yeah.
He did. There you go. There's another fact for you. I've got follow him tonight. Before I ask you yours, Dicko, evening, Dally.
Now then, boys, all right. Apologies for being late. I was handbrake turning round the Berwick Hills Bass car park, getting my boy out and driving home, so apologies.
Right. For those of you listening, Dally is a grown man. He's not a kid that's just took a car on a spin.
No, yeah. Had to get my boy home from swimming, so apologies for me. Feel like I'm back at school. I haven't to explain what you have to
But listen, we're choosing our Boro 11, so yes. You're in the deep end.
In the deep end, yeah. I had you on. I could hear, yeah. So I've been thinking. I'm like you, John. I saw it while I was at work, and I've not had too much time to think about it. So, yeah, I've put a couple together.
Well, then, who's your keeper?
I got Darren Randolph, you know. I loved Schwarzer. Got a lot of great memories of Schwarzer, but I think Darren Randolph was one keeper I used to. Some of the saves he pulled off were fantastic, and he was a goalkeeper that filled me with confidence.
There you go. So we've had
There you go,
two shouts so far, two different keepers. Is Dicko about to make it a third?
I think Daly's made a great point with Darren Randolph, because I think he's vastly underrated. I thought he was absolutely superb at Middlesbrough for 2 seasons in a row.
Agreed.
Absolutely fantastic. But I can't give Darren Randolph the all-time 11 position because he didn't play in the top flight. So I agree with John Donovan. It's a real close call between Stephen Pears and Mark Schwarzer. But I'm going to go with Stephen Pears. And the reason I'm going with Stephen Pears is I was fortunate enough when I was signed for Middlesbrough to have the pleasure of training with him. And I seen him close hand, how good he was. And Kevin Poole, to be fair, who was a decent keeper as well at the time. And they were really, really exceptional goalkeepers. I watched every home game that he played under Lenny Lawrence in the promotion season to the Premier League. And in my opinion, that season, he was the best goalkeeper in the country, which John said earlier on. He got an England call-up on the back of that under Graham Taylor. Unfortunately, that prat of Holmes under the hammers, Dion Dublin, decided to elbow him in the face and break his cheekbone, Middlesbrough versus Cambridge at home, and cost him his England cap. And I don't think Middlesbrough ever had a goalkeeper that would ever be considered to be an England international. And for me, it's a huge honour to be that, you know, to be that good. So was that Dion Dublin? Shut up, Dion. Get back upstairs. Get back upstairs to them bedrooms. Yeah. No, Stephen Pears for me pips it ahead of Mark Schwarzer, who was an excellent keeper for Middlesbrough. He won the Carling Cup, played in Europe, Australia international, you know, a number of occasions, and a great goalkeeper. But for me, Stephen Pears was more my type of goalkeeper, and I have to give it to Stephen Pears.
There you go. I mean, I am going to make it a different third one. Firstly, I didn't know Dion Dublin did Holmes under the hammer. I had absolutely no idea. That's an absolutely new one on me. At least he's found something he can talk about, because he can't talk about football very well. So, yeah, fair play to him. If he can sell me a 3-bedroom detached, then, you know, fair play to the lad. But yeah, I'm picking Mark Schwarzer. Mark Schwarzer was just different gravy, wasn't he, back in the day?
Fair enough as well. That's fair enough. He's a great goalkeeper.
Oh, it's unbelievable goalkeeper. Some of the saves he made. I mean, the save he made in the Carling Cup final itself. You know, obviously I know he made a clanger, so that obviously that goal in. But yeah, he kept us in the game for a long period, because there was some sustained pressure from Bolton that day, and some of the saves he made in Europe as well. Yeah, incredible keeper, and yeah, he gets my number 1 slot straight away.
Like I said, it was very, very close. It was a very close call between Schwarzer and Pears. Yeah, I could have went either way, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I went for Pears, and I can understand you choosing Schwarzer.
Yeah, don't forget his penalty save from Robbie Fowler that got win Europe as well,
Yeah,
which was fantastic as well. So I'm like John, I could have went either way, but out of loyalty, because I trained with the man and seen how good he was firsthand, I've got to go Stephen Pears.
There's no wrong answers here. There's absolutely no wrong answers, apart from if you pick George Friend at left back, then you've got a wrong answer. But that's just my opinion. But right back. Dick, I'll let you start on this one. Who is your number 2?
Well, this is a bizarre choice for me, probably what you're going to think, but I was picking my team, Michael Carrick, 4-2-3-1 attacking formation. And my choices for right back, I don't think we've had a lot of fantastic right backs over the years. And I did like Curtis Fleming. I thought he's a really 100% player, real, you know, give his heart for the club and deserved his testimonial. And I really like Luke Young when he was at the club. I thought he's a really good signing, Luke Young, but he wasn't there a long time. but I'm going to go for a one-season wonder who just had the quality from Real Madrid, and I'm going to go for Jeremy. He played right wing back for Middlesbrough, not as an actual full back, but I thought he was sensational. And my pick as Middlesbrough's best ever right back would be Jeremy.
Yeah, he's got a great goal lead as well, isn't he? Jeremy. I remember that one back when I was a bit younger. Yeah, fantastic right back. Still can't believe he played for the Boro, to be honest, but there you go. Unbelievable player. Good choice, to be fair. John Don, you're up.
Yeah, it's a difficult one right back because I'm going to go for a player who was who played a huge number of games for Middlesbrough. John Craggs. He was solid without being outstanding. He was regular, a regular decent performer. I know it's going back a while, and some of you lads on this podcast who are a little bit younger than me will be thinking, don't even know who he is. He used to work in Sports Direct, didn't he? But yeah, John Craggs made a lot of appearances for Middlesbrough and was a solid, steady fullback for us. You look over the years. Luke Young that Dicko mentioned. I thought he was a decent fullback. And when he moved to Villa, I just thought we didn't really replace him for a number of years. So yeah, like I say, no prep done, but I'm just thinking of players who've made a solid contribution to the Middlesbrough team. John Craggs was in when I was very young, and I was going to the games and getting squeezes and jumping over the fences. So I was a young lad, but I used to sort of like look at that team that he was involved in, and I thought fantastic. So yeah, he's my choice.
I agree with that choice. The younger people, as they're listening to this, are Googling who John Craggs is. But no, good choice. Dally, you're up.
Yeah, with the short space of time, really, I've had to put a bit of time to think about this. One name jumps out at me. Played one season, and I couldn't believe it when we didn't keep him. I think we could have got him for a bargain fee. It was Danny Mills. I loved, he was an England international, won the Carling Cup with us. That picture with his finger facing the wrong way, with him not even flinching. He was hard as nails. And I remember him doing Paolo Di Canio in front of the North Stand as well. And yeah, I thought he was a brilliant player.
Yeah, people forget. I think some people forget about that. He was a full regular England international as well. He was keeping Gary Neville at the team. You know what I mean? So
went the World Cup, didn't he?
He did. In South Korea and Japan in 2002. So yeah, great. Mind you, so did Trevor Sinclair. So, just saying. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm going to go completely different to you. Dicko, you went for the Real Madrid route. I'm going to go the Barcelona route. Mine's Michael Reisiger. I thought Reisiger was brilliant. Absolutely superb. Didn't do anything too flash, but he was just a good right back. He was just solid in his position. I still can't believe he played for Boro kind of thing. But he did. And yeah, as I said, I could have picked Jeremy. I could have even picked Stuart Parnaby, to be honest. I thought Stuart Parnaby was quite a solid right back for the Boro. But yeah, he's got my pick, Michael Reisiger, great right back. We've got some interesting teams so far, haven't we? It's going to be interesting as we go along this, but right, going to quicken it along now. JD, 2 centre backs. I'm sure you picked 2 centre backs, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Tony Mowbray has won. To me, he epitomised Middlesbrough in the 80s, especially through the dark days when we were looked like we didn't have a club to follow, and he was just he led by example. He was a proper captain, led by example. Pallister took a lot of the credit for their partnership. You know, Pallister was a bit more cultured, a little bit more elegant, but Mog had done the hard work. He'd done the graft. So yeah, that's one side of my centre half pairing. Do you want to move on while I have to think of the other one?
Dicko, you've got two.
Yeah, I agree with John what he said about Tony Mowbray. He was in my team and out my team, and in my team and out my team. Because when I was at Middlesbrough, he was Mr. Middlesbrough. He was the captain. He was the leader, and he was a superb player. And it's I've picked my team just on pure quality, and unfortunately, I don't think Tony Mowbray. He would probably even admit it himself. I don't think he was quite as good a footballer as either Gareth Southgate or Jonathan Woodgate. Gareth Southgate was a superb signing for Middlesbrough. He was an exceptional captain. He's the only captain that's ever won a trophy, a cup for Middlesbrough, and he's got to be in there. Is Gareth Southgate? Jonathan Woodgate, when he came to Middlesbrough, his debut when he marked Thierry Henry out the game at Highbury, at his peak, at his pomp, and I'm picking my team based on when they were at the best at Middlesbrough. I don't think anybody gets anywhere near a Jonathan Woodgate or a Gareth Southgate. But we have had a lot of good centre halves over the years, like Ugo Ekiog, like Tony Mowbray, Gianluca Festa, Nigel Pearson. There's a lot of good centre halves Middlesbrough have had over the years. Even like Sir Robert Huth, world class centre halves, but I don't think Middlesbrough have had anything better than Gareth Southgate or Jonathan Woodgate at the peak.
Yeah, two really solid centre halves there, aren't there? I mean, just give Mowbray a mention. He's doing a cracking job in his current job, isn't he? So, give him a big thumbs up for that. Always good to see Mugger. But have you thought about a second one yet, JD, or do I still need to move on?
Yeah, I have.
Go on.
Do you know what? I completely forgot about Southgate. So yeah, he's got to be in there. I did. I forgot about Southgate. I was thinking about all the partnerships and just Southgate and Ekiog just didn't crop up. But yeah, he's going to go alongside Mowbray for me. Again, another solid centre half who read the game really well. And I think, if they were in the same era, in the same team, I think Southgate and Mowbray would have made a phenomenal pairing. But yeah, I'll thanks for Dicko for reminding me. I'll choose as my second centre half, Gareth Southgate.
Gareth Southgate, who's the current England manager, it's the only trophy we've ever won.
Yeah, no, and I completely forgot about him.
Yeah,
sorry, mate.
There you go. But Deli, who's your two?
Well, like Dicko was saying, some of the names roll off the tongue. Tony Vidmar, Seb Hines, Sean St. Ledger.
Don't forget Rolls-Royce Reese.
Yeah, Rolls-Royce Reese. But I'd have to go with the greats. I'd have to go with Southgate and Woodgate. I think, he was a phenomenal captain. Gareth Southgate, absolutely loved him as a player. And it feels wrong not picking Ekiog alongside Southgate, but I was there for that debut for Jonathan Woodgate at Arsenal, and he was just different level. I don't think I've ever seen as good a debut, I would say, from a defender. Obviously, I remember Ravanelli's debut, and I've seen some brilliant debuts, but I don't think I've ever seen a better debut for a defender than his. And some say with his injuries he could have been one of the best, but if it wasn't for his injuries, we wouldn't have seen him in a Boro shirt. So I kind of look at it that way. But yeah, brilliant centre backs.
That's the thing. You can't argue with with any of the centre backs. You just said you can't argue with any of them. But I mean, I'm going to pick one of them. I'm going to say Southgate. obviously, I'm not going to forget that man. There's no way. Absolute legend. Did one thing that many great captains this football club haven't done. Went into the middle of that pitch in Cardiff and lifted that trophy aloft. So can't forget him. And I'm going to put in Ugo Ehiogu. I thought Ugo Ehiogu was absolutely brilliant. Took away too soon. Got into his debut as well, didn't he? At Charlton.
Charlton, yeah.
So, you know, to come from that and he was an absolute man mountain. I say when I was a bit younger, I was down towards the bottom of the North Stand, as most people were when they were younger, trying to get as close to the pitch as possible. And when you saw Ugo Ehiogu, the size of the man, he was man mountain and unbelievable player. Had a presence about him, and the partnership he built with Southgate was second to none. It was brilliant. But there's loads of centre backs you could put in that position. You know, you mentioned some good ones there. You know, Tony Vid, Marseille, Pines, players like that.
Andre Bikey.
Outrageous. Oh God, Andre Bikey. Do you remember when you put El Hadj Diouf in the middle of the West Stand? Absolute legend, unbelievable. But yeah, you know, some of the players you could have really mentioned. I mean, you could have chucked David Whittaker in there. I thought David Whittaker at times was absolutely brilliant alongside Woodgate. Like you said,
that was how good Woodgate was. I think whoever he played alongside, he made him a better player. I tell you, him and Pogatetz had a good relationship at one point as well, where him and Pogatetz were a decent force at the back. But Woodgate was the quality, the star quality. He made all the players we've mentioned that little bit better.
Oh, of course. I mean, you could even come to modern day. Look at players like, let's say, when he wasn't having his Christmas break, Danny Ayala, Ben Gibson. You know, they formed that partnership that got us up in 2016. Conceded, what was it, 20-odd goals all season. That's phenomenal for a partnership in the Championship. So yeah, some unbelievable defenders. Right, left back. This could differ between the four of us, I think. This could be an interesting choice. I'll start with you, Dicko. Who is your left back?
Well, for me, it's a choice between two, and the most popular choice would probably be Frank Quidrew, who was a superb left back, and you would get my vote every time if it wasn't for the man who wore this shirt that I'm wearing, which was the spotty German, Christian Ziege. Christian Ziege was, when we had him, probably the best left wing back in Europe.
Yeah,
and for one season, he was absolutely different class for Middlesbrough, and it was a shame the way it worked out when he left for Liverpool under poor circumstances. But I'm picking my team on sheer quality, and I've never seen anything anywhere near as good as Christian Ziege at left back in a Middlesbrough shirt.
Understandable. He's my choice as well, by the way. Christian Ziege, I thought he was brilliant. Frank's running close, but yeah, Christian Ziege was just unplayable in his day. He looked at what he did at Liverpool, Tottenham. It was, different class. His one to the left foot from free kicks was brilliant. Unbelievable. Gally, who's your left back?
I'm a French Frank man, if I'm honest with you. I just thought he used class. Could take a free kick, and he was so could Ziege. Don't get me wrong. But
Gally, are you on a trampoline?
Oh, trampoline, yeah. I was on the chair, sorry. I'd go French Frank. I'll just jump off this trampoline.
And while he's jumping off that trampoline, who are you going for, JT?
Quidrew, yeah. Like I say, I'm thinking about not just the player, but the contribution they made. And Frank Quidrew, great player. I'll have him as my number 3.
Yeah, I mean, you could have put in Pogatetz at left back. You know, the games he played at left back, he was, well, that's why he got the nickname, wasn't it? Mad Dog. Absolute psychopath at times, that man. Unbelievable. I loved him. Obviously, the picture you all see of him is the bandage round the head, you know, the Terry Butcher look. Absolute warrior. And scored one of the best headers I've seen against Chelsea. Unbelievable header. So it managed to beat the likes of John Terry in the air, who at the time especially 2006, they were unplayable. They were unplayable. Chelsea. They were two-time champions of England. Incredible team. I think they'd only lost like twice in, what was it, 60 something games or something. Unbelievable team that. So yeah, to out battle someone like John Terry, unreal. Right, midfield. Right, this is where we need to know formation now. Are we going the Michael Carrick route, or are we going to go different between us all? Because this is where it gets a bit different.
I can go any way you want, but the Michael Carrick would be two.
That's not my question. I'm asking you formation, mate.
Well, whatever you want. I'm happy. I can switch mine around.
I'm going to choose a 4 across the middle and 2 up front if I can.
Oh, the Sean Dyche, I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna Mike Bassett it as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna Mike Bassett it as well. I absolutely love that formation. I still think Boro should play it today, to be honest, 4-4-2, but that's just
I can do that. It's fine. I'll go with you. So I'll just go the same as you lot.
Right, well, I'll start with you then to go right midfield. Who are you going for?
Right midfield would be Paul Merson. And the reason being, the players I've got playing in front of that, I can't get him in his position where he played for Middlesbrough. So I'd put him right side, right wing, or if he was playing in the Michael Carrick formation, he'd be playing right side of a 3 behind the striker, which I think would suit him. Paul Merson can play anywhere. He's a magic man.
He was good, like he was absolutely.
He was synonymous for Middlesbrough getting promotion. I don't think Middlesbrough have had a player in my time that's almost single-handedly got Middlesbrough promotion or got Middlesbrough to a better place like he did. I mean, and I'm not saying that lightly when we've had Juninho and, even recent times, like say Gaston Ramirez, and we signed him, who got Middlesbrough over the line and promoted. But Paul Merson for that season in the Championship, for that season, I know we had a good side that season and we're one of the favourites to go up. But for me, for that season, he dragged Middlesbrough to promotion. He was that good. Sensational. I don't think the Championship, and all the time I've watched it, has had a better player than Paul Merson in it. That's how highly I rated him that season.
Fair argument. It's maybe one I have to bring forward for another podcast, I think. They say there's been so many players that have been so good in the Championship as well. So, but yeah, Paul Merson was brilliant, wasn't he? JT, who's your right midfield?
Juninho.
Okay.
The 4 I've picked across the middle. I've picked players who I think would be solid with guts, skill, and flair. And Juninho was superb, wasn't he? He was just a fantastic player. So I've got to include him. And he achieved so much for our club. And I've got to include him in my midfield quartet.
I mean, I've said every time on mine, I've had to put Juninho on the right because I couldn't put him in the centre. There was too many people I could have put in the centre. And there wasn't a lot of choice in the right. That stopped me absolutely putting down the likes of Albert Adoma, Christian Stuani, players like that. There's just no way. But yeah, Juninho on the right for me as well. I'll go with that. Dali?
You put me in a bit of a conundrum now because I thought when I was trying to think it through there, I thought it's got to be Gaisca Mendieta. But Juninho was different level, wasn't he, really? And when I think about the centre midfielders and the rest of my team, I think I'd have to put him on the right myself, to be fair. I don't know where else I could put him, but yeah, like I say, would have been Mendieta had I gone first, I think. And I'd have tried to squeeze Juninho in somewhere else and leave someone else out.
Yeah, I've had to put Juninho on the right just to get him in the team. And I was being serious about Stuani, by the way. I really would have put Stuani in that team. He's different.
Every time the ball hits the back post, there's a cross back post.
He's
Me
there.
and Chapio, Stuani would have scored that. Stuani would have scored that.
Tell you what,
He's-
I'll give a shout out to a player John Donovan that I watched a lot as well. Back in the day, Stuart Ripley.
Bobby Moore.
Stuart Ripley. Bobby Moore. No, not quite. But Stuart Ripley back in the day on the right hand side, his pace, and he was outstanding. An outstanding winger was Stuart Ripley.
Absolutely agree. It's a shame that the players that we omit from our 11, but yeah, it's a hell of a choice in the positions, isn't it? You know, and you mentioned Mason there again. Yeah, he'll fit in. You ask 100 Boro fans their favourite 11, and Mason will be popular amongst many of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. If I could have fitted him in, I'd put Paul Merson in. I thought he was brilliant in that 97-98 season. Unbelievable player. Right, I'm going to ask you to choose your left and not your centre mid, because centre mid really could get a bit tricky for a lot of people, especially the two who haven't had a lot of time to think about it as much as I did on that flight to Spain the other week. But I'll start with you, Dally. Who's your left midfielder?
Oh, it's got to be Stuart Downing. You know, certainly in my lifetime, unbelievable. Great servant at the club, and I think he took a lot of stick. I think sometimes, and you could do another show on this, but sometimes people from Middlesbrough don't like people from Middlesbrough playing for Middlesbrough. In some occasions, I think they get a bit of a bad rap sometimes, but I thought he was fantastic, but in both spells. So yeah, Stewie D's my left winger.
Yeah, he's mine as well. Makes that easy for me as well. John Don, yours?
Stuart Downing, yeah. Yeah, like I said, just for the contribution he made, and he was a quality player.
Yeah, I could have put Gaston Ramirez there. I really could have. I know he was only here for a year and a bit, but absolute baller, that man. I don't care what he did in his private life. Don't care. Absolute player, unbelievable footballer, and at times dragged us to promotion. To some of the performances he put in. Like you look at the games like Hunter Wolves, Hunter Huddersfield, games like that. He was different level. Unbelievable player. Diggle?
Yeah, full house. Stuart Downing, Middlesbrough's best ever academy product.
Yeah.
England international, played in World Cups. At his peak, at his pomp, he was probably the best in the Premier League. At his best, he was sensational. Broke on the scene, great talent. Yeah, easy one for me. That's Stuart Downing.
I think that's the first one we've all sat and agreed on one position straight away. So that was quite easy. Right, this won't be easy. Centre midfielders. We're all going to have a two that are going to be completely different to everybody else's. I can guarantee that straight away. I'm going to start with you, John Don, because I can probably name one of them, but I'll let you name both of them.
No, I know what you're thinking. You are thinking I'm going to say Ledbetter. Was that right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. No. Well, do you know what? I toyed with that for a little while, but my two are going to be Graham Souness and Robbie Mustoe. I just think the both of them contribute with goals. They were both superb players for the Boro. Obviously, Souness moved on and had a hugely successful career at Liverpool, and then his managerial career also. But Robbie Mustoe, one of the most underrated Boro players that I know, because he was unmovable in that midfield. You know, big money signings came and went. International players came and went, and Robbie Mustoe, throughout all the managers, kept his place in that team, and that was on merit. He offered so much. He was a great footballer. So it's Mustoe and Souness for me.
Yeah, solid pair, that, isn't it? Lots of people googling how long Graham Souness played for the Boro, but yeah, what a player, unbelievable. It's mental that Graham Souness actually played for the Boro, because you look at all the success he had at Liverpool, all the trophies he'd won, but yeah, loads of people up north will remember his time at Middlesbrough because he was that good. Which is incredible to say, to be honest. But he was.
What's great as well, Steve, is whenever he speaks about Middlesbrough, it's always positive. He gives us really good comments, you know, and it's great because obviously he went to a world famous club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, when he went to Liverpool, yet he still remembers his time at Middlesbrough with a great fondness, and speaks really well of the club and the town, and that certainly endears him to me. Yeah,
absolutely incredible player. I can't really knock that, to be honest. Dally, I'll come to you.
Well, again, the names are all off the tongue, don't they? Nicky Bailey. You think of...
Don't sing the song.
No, I've got ginger there too. No, you know, when you go back through and you think of players of saying, I've got to go George Boateng. I absolutely love George Boateng. There's a couple of players I could have gone with, and I'll be honest with you, I only really remember watching it on the telly with Merson. I didn't have a season ticket that year, so I didn't really see a lot of him live, although he was obviously a fantastic player. I could have gone with Zenden. Absolutely loved Zenden, but I'm going to go with Dave De Riva. I absolutely loved him, and I think he's one of the most underrated players we've ever had. You know, he just mopped everything up. But I'd go with our Carling Cup winning central midfield pair of De Riva and Boateng.
Superb. I'm glad you got to mention De Riva because he nearly went in my 11. I think De Riva was brilliant. No nonsense midfielder, just did his job. Bit like Johnny Howson today, just did his job. Fantastic midfielder. I used to love watching De Riva when I was younger. So yeah, great shout. Go on, Tico.
Well, I would love to have put Zenden and Boateng in my team because they were two massive favourites of mine. I love Bolo Zenden and I love George Boateng. But the two I've went with is Paulins and Emerson. I think they complemented each other superbly. Paulins was slightly past his best when he came to Middlesbrough, but when he came to Middlesbrough, you realise how good a player he was. As soon as he came into the Middlesbrough side, you could see his quality. And we weren't having a particularly good time when he joined Middlesbrough, and he just galvanised with it, and he was a captain, he was a leader, and he was just superb. And Emerson, though he was, you know, only brilliant probably for 5 or 6 months, he's my favourite all-time Middlesbrough player. He is absolutely at his peak, at his pomp, sensational. And I would say the only Middlesbrough player I've seen in my time who you could actually say was the best player in his position in Europe. When he was at his peak of his powers, the first 5 months when he joined Middlesbrough, there was not a better midfield player in Europe than Emerson. He was sensational. And it was such a shame the way it turned out, got his head turned by Barcelona and everything. But he was incredible. And as I say, in my opinion, at his peak, the best player I've ever seen in a Middlesbrough shirt. And I think him and Ince would have been a handful for any team in Europe.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't blame him getting his head turned by Barcelona, by the way. I mean, it's one place, one team I'd be happy to go. Yeah, go on a little bit of a flirt with that, like. But yeah, Emerson was, his 2 goals at Sunderland, say no more. You know, both practically identical, apart from one was at Roker, one was at the Stadium of Light. They call it something else there. But unbelievable midfielder, and what part of that trio that you couldn't quite believe played for the Boro as well. You thought, how have we managed to get them free up here 19? And into the doors at the Riverside. Incredible. But like Matu, I'm going to nick one of yours that you've mentioned. One of my favourite players of all time. No nonsense, Robbie Mustoe. I thought Robbie Mustoe was absolutely class. Didn't do an awful lot, but what he did was top draw. When he scored a goal as well, it wasn't like a tapping as well. He never scored a tapping. He was just brilliant midfielder. And second one is one we mentioned earlier, Gaisca Mendieta. Like, I couldn't leave Mendieta out of that team. There's no way. Like, how can a player of his pedigree be left out? He's different level. Mendieta, play for Barcelona, Valencia. Yeah, amazing midfielder. Right, strikers. So we've got 2 strikers apiece. Done quite well for time here as well. I thought this had gone way over, but we've done all right. Dick, I'll start with your 2.
Well, I'm going to start with apologies because 2 of my all-time heroes are Bernie Slavin and Paul Wilkinson, who I grew up with. I even bought my first pair of cycling shorts just to look like Paul Wilkinson when I was running around on the football pitch.
Your first pair of what?
Cycling shorts.
Oh, dear.
Absolute legend, Paul Wilkinson. So him and Bernie Slavin, apologies, but you can't get in the lineup because I've gone with Ravanelli and the partnership with Juninho.
Okay.
So that's me front 2, Juninho and Ravanelli. We've had some great strikers over the years. Mark Viduka is possibly the best striker I've seen in a Middlesbrough shirt. Alan Boxic at his peak of his pomp was superb. And we've had a lot of good strikers. But the partnership between Juninho and Ravanelli was so good, I can't keep them apart. So I'm putting them together.
Fair point about the partnership, not the cycling shorts. That's for a different conversation, I think. But no, fair play. So you mentioned some unbelievable players again. Is it Bernie Slavin? Absolutely incredible striker for the Borough. So for you to put Ravanelli and Juninho in there says how good them 2 were. Dally, your 2?
You've got Ishmael Miller, you've got Marlon King, you've got I wouldn't dare. Really hard one. But I absolutely love Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Sheer power, unbelievable. He just ran around screaming at Stuart Downing, but brought the best out of him, and I thought he was a fantastic player. Really hard one for the next one because I'm torn between 2, and probably a player from this era was, you look at Akpom and you look at Ravanelli's goals. But I just remember the aura around, when we signed Ravanelli, and what an absolute, how the hell did we get him? I'd have to go Ravanelli. I just remember being a, 10-year-old watching him play for the Borough. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, what a player he was. Absolute housery on that fella. That goal he scored against Newcastle.
Oh,
the
balls.
balls.
Boom song for dead.
Yeah. And then you go back to Newcastle again, where he just falls on the floor and knocks it in with his hand. Yeah.
Hand of Jimmy.
Absolutely amazing. And still have the balls to slay there and go, yeah, that's pretty good header that, yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? And they're all going, he's on ball. And just, no way. Unbelievable. What a player Jimmy was. His goal against Bale as well. Pop bins. Zubabula was absolutely picking that out. Man
City free kick. Got with the Europe.
I know.
Arsenal had sensation.
Yeah, Arsenal away, yeah.
There's nobody hitting a ball harder than Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, is there?
No. God, yeah, Arsenal away. Everybody thought, oh God, 3-1 up, right? That's 42 game unbeaten run gone. And then, we don't know what happened after we lost the tape. Right, John Don, you're 2.
Before I say, can I just congratulate Steve? He's had 3 pumps tonight in his description of players. I blame the cycling shorts.
Hello, Steve McLaren.
I was doing a bit of Dutch. Shanks, John.
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, one striker we haven't mentioned was Yakubu, another great
Yakubu.
striker. Yeah. But and earlier in Boro's history was John Hickton, but I'm going to go for two that I think were really good. Bernie Slaven, great servant for the Boro for next to nothing he cost us, but banged in 147 goals. You know, a lot of them tap in, some of them absolutely fantastic goals. And Mark Viduka, I think Mark Viduka was just an all-round forward. He'd score great goals with his head, with either feet. He was strong. He had an arse that nobody could get round. He was absolutely superb. I love Viduka. But like I said, there's quite a lot of strikers who could have made it, but they're my two.
Solid two again. Like you can't like when you sat with your mates and you're having a pint and you go through like your favorite players. There's always that one player you want one of your mates says that you absolutely just rip into and go, "How have you picked him? Like where have you picked him from?" But yeah, you can't. There's no one you could have. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If one of you to pick George Friend, I was absolutely ripped into you until time was gone. So well done. But no, three solid teams. Right, Martu. I'm going to put Yakubu in there. Like, Yakubu was a goal scorer. Like, end of the day, job one for a striker is to score goals, and he knew where the back of the net was. Like, some of the goals he scored as well, just he bullied centre halves. I remember one game he played against Arsenal, and he absolutely bullied Philip Senderos. Like, he just tortured him. Poor lad didn't know he was playing in Boro South.
He disappeared.
He's gone.
Disappeared, hasn't he? I think Yakubu's bullied him.
Yeah.
Go for a pair of shots.
Nobody mentioned Ricard, did they? You know, he was another great striker. I don't think got the credit that he deserved. Nemeth, you know, decent output from him. You know, goals per game ratio was good. Yeah, we've had some great strikers over the years. But
it's hard to pick too, isn't it? Because different eras as well, where the game was different service. You know, as I say, I used to love Paul Wilkinson, how good he was in the air. But the game's changed and evolved. But to pick two is very, very difficult. I mean, that season when we had Macaroni and Yakubu, Viduka, I mean, what in Hasselbank, all in the same season, were just absolutely spoilt.
Yeah, we were. I mean, you look at the players we had during McLaren's spell, and it makes you wonder why we never achieved more. I know for a small club, we got our cup. We had two good seasons in Europe, but I just think with all those, we could have achieved even more. But,
yeah.
That you know. Oh, hang on, we've got him back. Hello, mate. Where did you go?
I don't know. My whole system just crashed. I don't know what happened. I've just been talking to myself for 2 minutes.
I don't know. It wasn't me, Jeff.
I don't know. I don't know, Jeff.
Was that Philip Sendros? Was that Philip Sendros? I think that's who it was.
Yeah, it knocked me sideways as well. But is that the last thing you heard, Philip Sendros?
Yeah, we had bullied, and then you just froze.
Did I? I don't even know why I froze. But I've just been talking to. Yeah, I've just been talking to myself for 5 minutes, I suppose. But to round it off, really.
We done a bit of talking. We were just talking about other strikers, you know, that we could have picked and who we didn't choose, like the likes of Ricard, Nemeth, There's
Alan
lots,
Rickard, what a
isn't there?
player he was. My second choice, by the way, was Alvaro Negredo. There you go. That was my second
Exactly.
choice.
Do you know what? There's somebody I never thought of. He was the beast, wasn't he? I
He
remember
was class.
those 2 goals he scored at Leicester, 2-2. We should have won that game 2-1, but de Roon gave a penalty away. They were great goals. He knew how good he was because he was a big, strong fella. He knew his ability. He was a great player.
Oh yeah, unbelievable player. You see, different level again. I think I've said that about 8 of me 11 players, different level. But yeah, he was absolutely class. His goals against Leicester, Swansea, that goal on the turn where he just pinged it past Fabianski. Still a bit annoyed about him trying to turn it onto his right foot at the Emirates when he was 1-on-1 with Koscielny. He should have just pinged it with his left foot. I'm sure he'd have scored. But yeah, how he scored, the amount of goals he scored, playing basically by himself from the halfway line onwards. Yeah, unbelievable player. It's going to be really funny, this, because when people watch it on YouTube and Facebook and then listen to it on Spotify, they're going to hear 2 different conversations. Spotify's going to hear me talking for 5 minutes, and Facebook and YouTube are going to hear you 3 talking about strikers. So it's going to be a different. It's going to be interesting. That I might have to listen to both and just try and collaborate them somehow. But anywho, right, Birmingham. As I was saying to the few people that were listening to me, Wayne Rooney's Birmingham City. I don't know what to expect Saturday now. I don't. Because I don't know what kind of team Wayne Rooney's going to pick. I don't know what kind of style they're going to play. Is he going to be his gritty style from Derby, where they felt they had to kick everybody all over the pitch for 90 minutes? Are they going to play football? I don't know what to expect. JD, what do you expect from Saturday? Because I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they're going to bring a good following. They're going to bring 2,500, which will spare their team on it, but it'll spare our fans on, spare our team on too. We have to really sort of try and carry on from the level of performance that we put in at Sunderland, and I think we'll have enough. Hopefully, we'll have a couple of players back from injury to give us more options for our starting 11. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good atmosphere. Maybe he's looking at 27, 28,000 crowd. I think it'll be an interesting game. I know there's always that threat of like the new manager and it starts off with a good result, but it happens often, but not all the time. So I'm hoping we can maintain our good run of form, and I'm going to predict a scoreline of 3-1 Middlesbrough.
There you go. He's gone early there. He's gone very early. You're going to put a goal scorer to that one?
Yes, I am. I'm going to put that there, Lath.
Okay. Latte, Lath. Fair enough. He's gone very early there. Dally, I know you've got to go pretty soon, so do you want to bang in your score now and your little prediction about what you think is actually going to happen on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I normally go 1-1, but I think I'll go one better this time. I'm going to go 2-2. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I think, I know that we did the Macrams and we did them handsomely, but
did we? Tell me more. Tell me more about that.
But obviously they were down to 10 men when we scored our goals. And we're being tested properly at the back for, I think it was nice to get the clean sheet. But when we come under the cosh, we do have a tendency to concede. I'm going to go 2 each. And I think goal scorer, I'll go with Coburn.
Okay. Before I ask you about your stick goal, I mean, I got asked a question on Twitter that I thought I'd pose to you boys. Dally, if you want to go at any point, it's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Class boys, enjoy it, boys. All right.
Yeah,
cheers.
I was going to see you. I'll see you on Saturday, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers, Dally.
Yeah, be seeing you, boys.
Right, I got asked a question on Twitter. with McGree, Lenihan, and Howson potentially going to be fit for Saturday, do you drop Greenwood, McNair, and Barlasser straight away? I'm going to pose that to the pair. I'll start with you, Dicko, first, because that's a tricky question. The more I thought about it, the more I think, I don't know. So I'll let you boys answer.
You go with Michael Carrick's decision. The last couple of games, Michael Carrick's been getting it right, like he did last season. And although, like John Cutler always says, if you've played well, you keep the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We've had an international break. You've got to go horses for courses. Birmingham are a different side to Sunderland. Birmingham are going to play an attacking style. Wayne Rooney's Birmingham are going to play an attacking style, a bit like us. So if you think making a couple of tweaks to your starting 11 is going to enhance Middlesbrough being at home, whether that be a Riley McGree coming back in, whether that be you think it's going to tighten it up at the back to bring Lenihan back in, or whatever, you've got to go with the manager's choice. He's watching them in the training ground for the next 2 weeks over the international break, and he'll pick the side that he thinks is best equipped to deal with Birmingham. We've got a lot of games coming up thick and fast now. Saturday, Tuesday, got the League Cup game to think about. And I think we've got to trust Michael Carrick. He's been getting it right recently. And whatever team he picks, I think we should just back it. It's good to have options as well. I mean, the Sunderland game, we were saying, oh, why is he not playing? Why is this one not playing? But he got it right. And we had loads of options off the bench against Sunderland who come on and changed the game and had an impact on the game, like Marcus Force coming on, scoring. And, the subs that come on, Silvera, the attacking options that come on against Sunderland changed the game. So I'm happy. If he wants to go with exactly the same team that we played against Sunderland, fair play. But I think there might be a couple of changes.
So to round that question off, would you put them 3 back in?
I wouldn't be bothered if he did. I would trust the manager.
But I'm giving you the big job. Are you picking them? Yes or no?
Do you know what? I think because we're at home, I would have to have if he's fit, McGree would have to play.
Mm-hmm.
Lenihan for McNair, not too bothered either way. What was the other one? Sorry.
The other one was Howson
for Barlasser. To be honest with you, I love Johnny Howson in the Middlesbrough team. And though Barlasser's done really, really well, Howson's done really, really well for longer. So again, if he put Howson back in, I would be cool with that as well.
So that was a long-winded way of saying, yes, I would put 3 back in.
You've got to pick your strongest team. I'll put it a different way. You've got to pick your strongest team, and if Michael Carrick thinks the strongest team is to bring them 3 back in, so be it.
There you go. That was a very long-winded yes. John, obviously I've got your score out of you. I'll come back to your score in a minute, Dicko. Them 3 players, would you put straight back in?
I'd contemplate Lenihan in place of McNair and McGree in place of Greenwood. I would leave Barlasser in.
So you'd leave Howson out?
Yes.
Okay. How many people have said that weeks ago? It just shows how much we've moved.
Yeah.
In such a short space of time.
But I think I think Johnny Howson will get his time, to get minutes. Like Dicko said, we've got 2 games a week now, so there'll be plenty of opportunity. And for his performances in the last couple of games, you've got to keep Barlasser in my opinion.
That's a fair decision. I'm sticking with mine and I said I don't know. I still don't know. So I haven't got a clue. Got a clue.
You're badgering us for an answer.
I don't know, Jeff.
I'm the guy that asks the questions. I don't answer them. So yes, I don't know. I still don't know. I'll probably still say I don't know on Saturday when I see the team. So but right, Dicko, score time.
I think Birmingham will play into Middlesbrough's hands. They'll come, they'll have a go. And I like teams that don't sit in and defend against Middlesbrough. That's where we struggle. When teams have a go, I think we're better than most sides. And I think, like John said earlier on, the big away following will help create a big atmosphere in the stadium, which again, I think falls kindly for Middlesbrough. And I'm quite confident. I might be completely wrong, as you know, we don't get many predictions right, but I'm going to go for a 3-0 Middlesbrough win. And I'm going to say that Josh Coburn will score.
3 out of 5 was the pick Colbert to score at some point, because Cuts has got in touch. He said 3-1 and Colbert as well. So
I think it'll be another clean sheet for Senny Dieng. 3 in a row.
Funny enough, I think it'll be a clean sheet for Senny Dieng as well. I've got 2-0 Boro, and I've got Hayden Hackney to score anytime. I think he'll ping one on Saturday. Well, I hope anyway. But if he plays, I mean, I don't know. So, but on that note, I'll leave it there. We nearly made it through without a technical glitch, but to be fair, I didn't press anything, so I'm not going for that one. But
I'd like to thank all my Dutch fans. I hope they understood what I was on about with my team earlier on. Hope though.
Very good. Yes. Yes. So yeah, thank you very much, boys, for having a chat with me. Thank you for coming on, and I'd say keep me company for the last hour or so, but I spoke to myself for 5 minutes, so yeah, that's going to be interesting to listen back to. But thank you very much for listening and commenting and getting in touch. We'll chat again next week. We've got a busy one next week. We've got a preview Norwich. We've got a preview Stoke, and we've also got to review what happens on Saturday. So I'll see you boys on Saturday. I hope we see you listeners on Saturday. If you haven't got a ticket, Block 23, that's probably the best place to go. A, because that's where the noise is, and B, you don't have to use that digital ticket yet. That will probably break. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, get in touch about next week. Let us know what you think about the game on Saturday, and we'll chat then. Be seeing you up the Boro. Toodaloo.
Up the Boro.
Thank you for listening to the 12 Man podcast. Hope to see you all again next week.